Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. And through this channel, I'll be providing some stock analysis and also an update on our $1 Million Challenge, so please stay tuned. In the previous video, we did a stock update on ticker symbol PROG. We looked at a potential squeeze in this stock, and there were some important developments with regard to catalysts as well. So please refer back to the previous video for ticker symbol PROG. Before we start today's video, quick reminder of the $1 Million Challenge for anybody who's not aware of this. This is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the intention is to get 201 trades with an average return of 3.5%, but not 201 consecutive trades, and we do take into account losses as well. So we have a special spreadsheet for this challenge. Many of them, the stocks in the challenge are low risk. We also have a growing Discord community now, well in excess of 300, who are working together in the challenge, sharing due diligence, trading tips, technical analysis, research, entry prices, etc. The Discord area has a dedicated section which includes an agreement area, FAQs. You can have an opportunity to chat and ask questions about the challenge. The stock spreadsheet is also available here as well. You can share your buys. We have an area for king and queen alerts, and also a leadership section, leaderboard section, sorry, and also an update section. So for details of this challenge, join us on this journey. Details in description below. Today's video is an update on ticker symbol MMAT Metamaterials. This is a stock that has been featured a few times on the channel. In one of my previous recent videos, I also did an update on potential dividend calculation for people who are entitled to the dividend. Today's video is going to look at 4 alternative predictions for the dividend. One of the reasons why I'm following this up is on social media. I have been reading different figures with regard to the number of preference shares. In my previous video, I used a figure of 175 million shares for the special dividend. I'm going to explain to you why I used 175 million. However, for the purpose of today's video and the calculations I'm going to present shortly, I am going to be using the widely shared figure of just close to 165 million preference shares. So before we do that, there's an important update with regard to Meta I'd like to first of all share with you now. First thing I'd like to share with you now on the screen is a tweet from Metamaterials. So on the screen here we can see a tweet which states that Meta commences drilling operations on the Oro Grande project to maintain lease compliance. So this is a tweet from the 15th of October. So this is important with regard to going forward in terms of the dividend. The message that this gives me is the sale of land and the sale of assets has not yet been completed. So that's the message I get from this tweet. What I can also read in terms of this tweet is there are 2 potential outcomes of this drilling. One, from a negative point of view, it is going to increase the costs. So that's not a good thing. But number 2, with this drilling, there could be a positive sign, more confirmation of oil, more confirmation of gas, more evidence of strong resources. So that is on the bullish side. So time will tell. Let's wait and see. Let's now have a look at the reason why in my previous video I used a calculation of 175 million shares. So this is a tweet in response to Skips Clearing. So shout out again to Skips Clearing. This is a tweet from George, dated August the 20th, 2021. So Skips Clearing did ask George a very important question, and he says, "Hey George, how many preference A shares have been issued? Question mark. You definitely know the answer to this. How about sharing so we all know officially?" So what George replied is he gave us a figure, and he said 164,923,363. But the important thing that George said in this tweet at the very end, in the last sentence, he also said, "and looks like a lot are held in street name. Hope this helps." So that was something that I carried out a little bit further digging, and let me now share with you in terms of what I found with regard to this. On the screen now, you'll be able to see a screenshot from an SEC report for Torchlight Energy, and the heading here on this report is designation, amount and par value under section 2. So the important thing that I picked up from this report was a statement here that says there shall be 175 million preferred A shares. So that's what the figure that was used in the initial calculation for the special dividend. For today's video, I'm going to be using the widely shared figure just below 165 million. Let's start by first of all now having a look at the first calculation of the predicted dividend. This was the one that I initially shared in my previous video, and this was shared as a conservative prediction. It was also taking into account higher prices for oil, higher prices for gas, and also taking into account the sale of assets that Shell recently completed as well. So the other thing to note in this particular calculation is I did use a total amount of preferred shares of 175 million. So that's from the SEC report, and the final outcome I got from this particular calculation and prediction was an amount of $13.60, and this was based on conservative estimates and also much higher figure of preference shares. What we're now going to look at is 3 more potential predictions, and we're also going to use different figures as well. On the screen now, you'll be able to see prediction B. This is something I'm going to call a bullish prediction, and this is now going to be using a calculated figure of $32,000 per acre and also 165 million shares. So in the previous calculation we used $27,500 per acre. Now we've increased that by 5,000, bearing in mind higher prices for oil, gas and land, and also lower amount of shares. So previously it was 175 million shares, now it's 165 million shares. So what we have now is a potential dividend of $15.55 plus 10% higher for the Permian Basin sale. So that one previously is $1, so I've changed that now to $1.10. So the final figure for the predicted dividend for B here, prediction B, is $16.65. Let's now have a look at a bearish prediction. So this bearish prediction is in prediction C. So in prediction C, what I'm going to use is $10,000 per acre. So instead of the previous $27,500 and the previous $32,000. So it is basically a situation where the company are basically selling the land as cheap as possible to any old buyer, we could say. So this will give them a sale of land of just in excess of $891 million. We've got the 10% legal and administration fees. I'm still going to use 165 million shares. That's going to give a special dividend of $4.86. I'm also going to reduce the Permian Basin sale by 20% from the original $1, and that is going to give an overall dividend now of $5.66. So this is, in my opinion, the most extreme bearish prediction of the special dividend, $5.66. This is if the land is sold very cheaply and not at true value. And the final prediction here is prediction D, and prediction D is looking at a situation where we have no sale of assets, so there are no buyers. So in effect, what this basically tells me is we are going almost full circle back to the situation we were before, where Meta existed as a separate business and Torchlight existed as a separate business. However, the situation now may well be the new business will be called OilCo. So we do know OilCo exists. We do know OilCo as was recently set up and established, and we do know that George is the head of OilCo. So the prediction for shares in this particular company, if this is what we are given, could be between $3 and $5. So this could be another company, just like when people invested in Torch, which will own the land in the Permian Basin, in the Oreganda area as well. So this has been widely shared on social media as well. So certainly this is another possibility. And finally, the last thing I'd like to share with you is another alternative prediction, and that is there could be a situation where the company are looking for an extension. So that is something that is written in the terms and conditions. It does require an agreement. So if there is an agreement and if there is an extension, this deadline that we have of 28th of December 2021 could be extended. So the saga could continue. That's potentially another situation as well. But I think most investors will agree that we would like an outcome this year, and we would like an outcome with regard to sale of assets, not shares in OilCo. So that, I think, is the preferred outcome for most investors. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.